Evening, good morning, good afternoon, everyone, wherever you are watching us from. I'm Comfort Eyitayo, your regular host for Connect with Comfort show. This new year is still relatively new, just 12 days old today. So it is still right to share my personal good wishes with you by saying Happy New 2025 to you and yours. In this year, we shall manifest gloriously in all aspects of our lives. As it is with our usual custom or practice, on this program, we aim to add value to people on business, enterprise, and personal growth. Each show is organized to feature guests who are subject matter experts that would help us throw more insight into the topic of the day. It is both an honor and a privilege to welcome you all to the first episode of this show in the year 2025. I'm glad you are able to join us today. You are most welcome. Today's topic is intentionally prepared because of the time of the year and being the first episode of the show for the year. So today's topic is not only timely, but also vital for the times we live in. That is prioritizing purpose, which is the key to meaningful leadership and success in 2025. At the beginning of a new year, as we all know, many people will go frantically into making New Year resolution. Most of these New Year resolution, if not all, do not see the light of the day. So as we step further into the manifestation era of 2025, we find ourselves navigating uncharted waters, an era defined by rapid technological advancements, shifting economy landscape, which many people believe have defied all known economic theories. And that is why we consider the need to bring this topic our way. Prioritizing purpose is far better than New Year resolution that does not have a base. And we believe is the key to sustainable success. Hence, we deem it fit to bring it your way today. In addition to all this, we also have the need and growing demand for ethical and empathic leadership. Because in this dynamic environment we find ourselves economically, success is no longer measured solely by profitability, accolades, or influence. Instead, it is increasingly defined by the depth of our impact, the clarity of our vision, and the alignment of our actions with a higher purpose. So, purpose remains the compass that guides leaders toward meaningful decision. It is what drives innovation with intention, fosters resilience in adversity, and cultivates trust in our relationships. Leadership without purpose risks becoming a directionless pursuit of short-term gains, but with purpose, it transforms into a powerful force for good, one that not only achieves goals but also uplifts communities and inspires others to do the same. Today, we hope to examine how to prioritize purpose and how prioritizing purpose can unlock not only personal fulfillment but also our business or organizational growth, as well as society progress and a legacy of significance. So once again, I say Happy New Year to you all. I thank you for being here. Now, let us embark on this purposeful journey together after this time out. Please remain connected. We'll be right back. Thank you.
I wanted to give up. I'm done with all the things I'm going through. I'm trying to keep my head up. I try to win, but every time I lose. Should be getting better. I try, but I don't know what to do. Hope this ain't forever. I just wanna make a breakthrough, but something inside said never give up. All of these setbacks are major setups. If I keep on fighting, if I keep on trying, if I aim for the sky, one day things will go my way. One day things will go my way. One day things will go my way. I've gotta hang.
You're welcome back. Our guest for today is no stranger to us. He's part of our team and is no other than Rotimi Eyitayo. Like I always say, there's no prize for guessing. Rotimi Eyitayo is a transformational speaker, strategist, and educator with a passion for equipping individuals and organizations to achieve their highest potential. As the founder of Team Masters Limited and thought leader in education leadership and personal development, Rotimi has impacted thousands with his dynamic insights and practical wisdom. He is on a mission to inspire excellence, foster innovation, and create sustainable change. Please join me in making welcome Mr. Rotimi Eyitayo, our special guest for today's topic.
Good evening,
Rotimi, you are
everyone.
welcome. Good evening.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for agreeing to do this for us. So we go straight away to what we can consider general issues around this topic. What does prioritizing purpose mean in the context of leadership?
Thank you very much. I think that when we talk about prioritizing purpose when it comes to leadership, it's more like saying doing things that matters most, getting to have as a leader, as a visionary, as the head of a component or a unit or a brand, making your mind up to doing things that matters most. That's what prioritizing would be when it comes to this context.
Okay, so the purpose is prioritizing purpose is looking at what matters most. So we need to prioritize what matters most so that we do not waste time on frivolities. Thank you for the response on that. So why is a sense of purpose important for leaders to achieve meaningful success?
Well, when it comes to saying purpose, purpose helps you to drive your goals, helps you to drive and govern your behavior. And it's very important because purpose seems to be the enthusiasm and the soul of direction. As a leader, once you've found the direction at which you want to get to, you begin to find out that purpose in itself begins to profile what you need to do. And the results are at stake. So you want a situation whereby you are doing the right thing within the right frame of context for the right time and for the right result you're seeking. So it's important that we take that perspective very well because it's important that our results are at stake, our outcomes are at stake. The vision in itself is at stake as well.
Thank you very much. So what would you say if somebody asks you how can a leader define or identify their core purpose in a fast changing world? Because some people are confused.
Yes, that's a very interesting one. For those who want to identify their purpose, I'll say that it starts by understanding what your core is, what your center is. Sometimes it's safe to say that your purpose is your assignment, your primary assignment on a matter. You know, if it's a business, what's your core assignment, your primary assignment for your business? You know, when you understand that, then you've understood purpose. Purpose could also be seen as the ultimate goal. Sometimes we confuse activity for the ultimate goal. And that's why sometimes you find people have a disconnect or some seeming confusion. So we need to understand that the ultimate goal is to do something. So I used to use an example like a football match. The ultimate goal for a football match is for the team to win the match. You can play and dribble, you can show your dexterity with the ball, but that is an activity. You can shout, you can connect, that is an activity. But the ultimate goal is to win the game. So when people are trying to identify what their core purpose is, I would say that what is the main assignment, right? They say that the primary purpose of government is to create an enabling environment and protect its citizens. Everything must go around that purpose. Outside of that is called dysfunctionalities, outside of purpose, which you can actually call a different attraction, which some people call distraction.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for that. And I want to put that in the context of business now. You've tried to explain what a leader that is purpose driven should target at. So, what are the key differences between purpose driven leadership and profit driven leadership?
That's an interesting one. Purpose driven leadership versus profit driven leadership. I think that profit is a bit of a surface based focus. When you have a leadership that is profit driven, is surface driven, is a leadership that is not exploratory in nature. You can make profit and you can lose the business. You can make profit, you can lose the market share. You can make profit, you might not get to attain market leadership because there are many things that come beyond profit. There's relationship, there's customer satisfaction, there's customer relationship that leads to forever customer journey. There's partnership and alignment and alliances. All these things actually come beyond the mix of making money off someone. In fact, businesses that last so long are businesses that customers have found to be meaningful to them than just to be serviceable to them. And so, if you take profit as your goal, and as your purpose, it means that you would not be speaking more of value. That's what traders do. Traders buy and traders sell. But business people, business entrepreneurs are meant to be more of purpose driven, which is value first, because they say value begets value. And once you are able to put value first, relationships last longer, relationship converts more when we think of value. But when everything is transactionary, everything is all about money, it might not lead to repeat purchase. It might not lead to long transactional history. It might not lead to repeat buying. So we must understand that profit is good, but purpose is higher.
Very good and very interesting, because I needed to ask that, because people will say you need to have profit to stay in business. Profit is what keeps you in business. But you have given us a different dimension, which is also very important, that for repeat businesses and sustainability of business, there's other key elements, relational and other thing like value, uh, that people also attach to businesses. Thank you very much. And that differentiates business, real business, from just buy and selling. Fantastic. So
Thank you.
let's relate all this to 2025, the relevance of this topic. What challenges or trends in 2025 make purpose driven leadership particularly critical?
Well, I think that it's important for people to realize that the economy itself is very volatile. We're dealing with inflation, we're dealing with some strong economic condition, government policies, and this sometimes will easily scare anyone who gets all about profit. But then we need to understand that if we are trying to be around long enough in the market, we're trying to be around long enough for the client, for the customer, then there's something much more. We need to know that this year, purpose would cause us to stay longer, purpose will cause us to sacrifice more, purpose will call us into a more vivid, consistent work in our businesses, where we know that we can't leave, for example, Nigeria for Nigerians. We want to be able to ensure that while other companies are folding up and selling off just because the climate seems to be a bit harsh, because we are more about the people, then our resilience, our grit, our resourcefulness and responsiveness will need to come together like a mix. And the cement of clarity will cause us to now see that this year is the year where we tighten the buckle, where we fasten the seatbelt, and we stay on course.
Hmm, that's very deep, thought provoking, in the sense that I thought last year was the year we tighten our belt, or belt, and buckle, whatever. But if you are asking us to be tightening our belt to this year too, I want to differ that hopefully we may be getting to a situation where we can realize that tightening this year for businesses. But the point is well made. The point is well made, that we need to remain purpose driven. Like some people said, like those, without mentioning names, some of the big conglomerates that are leaving Nigeria when the time is rough, after profiting from the cheap labor that Nigeria provides them to make high profit to return back to their base. You look at that can you really identify value in their leadership, or what they want us to believe they were doing for the for our country? Maybe quickly answer that, because that resonates very well from what you just said.
Well, that's why we always find that organizations within the indigenous context are always encouraged to be there to thrive, because there are a lot of people, regardless of the size of their business, that they are not sentimental about what they do. If it's not comfortable for them, up and go. But for us, it's a national pride for us to provide value for our people, but to also show that we are existing for a purpose. It's our joy to be able
And
to
contributing.
exactly. We don't want to be people who will be subject to enterprises that quickly drop us while it's hot, but we want to be a set of people that come thick and thin, which is actually the spirit of entrepreneurship, where
Yes.
people rise up to the occasion. And the faster the multinational leaves, I think the faster the
The
nationals should
national
follow.
growth. Yes.
Because
That,
for
that,
every
that's the key.
gap enterprises create, there's a vacuum to be felt. And so I think that it's a year where we need to dream big, where we need to do big, and we need to do it quickly. And so that's what it is.
That's the word. Dream big, but don't sleep. You can dream without sleeping. Okay, we have a question from one of our audience, Banjo Bayode. It says, how can individuals and or organizations clearly define their purpose and align their priorities with it, especially when faced with competing goals or limited resources?
Thank you very much. That's a very powerful question. I think it's three
Yes.
questions in one. Number one, if you want to identify clearly and you want to define your purpose, I think it starts with your end goal. A lot of people get confused with the means goal versus the end goal. So you need to always ask the question, what is the end goal? Right? And it's the end goal that begins to tell you what your priorities would be, what your strategic moves will be, what your objectives must be. So if somebody understands that their end goal is to be able to deliver XYZ income for the year, their end goal is to be able to lose dash 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 weight in the year, the end goal begins to clearly define your assignment, right? It begins to clearly define the things that you need to do. And that way, you now begin to align priorities. Sometimes in this journey, you will see that there are things that do not matter to you. Those are easy things to drop. But the trick is where you look at what matters versus what matters most. And so it's a year where organizations and individuals might need to declutter, because you don't have too much to carry as a baggage for your enterprise. You don't have too much to carry as a load for your personal journey. So you must make sure that whatever you're carrying matters most to the year. Whatever you are putting on your plate matters most to your purpose, which some people will say your destiny, which I would say your end goal. So I hope that helps to align that.
Okay, I hope Bayo would be able to confirm if that satisfied the question. Otherwise, you can it's opportune to ask a follow-on question. But to me, it looks okay to me. So, what role does technology play in enabling leaders to align their organizations with their purpose?
So technology, we always say, is an enabler. And technology will play a lot of roles, because as a leader, your task is enormous. But you see, what technology does is it helps you to know where to find collaboration. It helps you to know where to lighten the burden. It helps you to know how to accelerate, to be able to have things done with people, through people, for people in the shortest possible time, right? Technology sometimes helps you to save costs in many ways. It helps you to save mental stress in most ways. So most leaders the pressure of leadership is enough to now begin to add physical exertion and the likes. So I think that technology plays a pivotal role, and I think it will be a leader's companion when it comes to delivering purpose.
Thank you very much. Let's move swiftly to the business setting and see how we can align this topic to our business setting. We are looking at the importance of purpose. How can we, as leaders of businesses, organizations, embed purpose into our various outfit culture? Because in the year you are going to be hiring, if you are not hiring, you are going to look at performance of existing employee, or you're going to have other form of engagement one way or the other. So how do we embed purpose into the culture of our businesses and or organizations?
Thank you very much. Embedding purpose into our organization actually will be one pivotal thing for the kind of culture that we will have. The world is so fast paced, and the service delivery demand of individuals and enterprises is so high that we can't afford to go about it with the wrong team. And so your purpose should be one of your rubric to measure who comes on board, who works with you, and who stays with you. I think that gone are those days where you're just looking at people who have certain educational degree, and then you look at it, oh, you have first class is not necessarily meaning alignment. The people that make up your team must first meet up with the alignment, and which is what we mean by the purpose for why you're set up, the purpose for why you do the things you do, the way you do the things you do. A lot of organizations are now going closer into having what you call signature experiences, which means we might be doing similar things in similar industries, similar prices, and similar products, but in a unique way. So that is what the organizations will use as a compass to be able to navigate who comes on board and how they deliver the culture that will help them sustain their strategy.
Very good and very true. So in this sense, let's assume we've been able to embed purpose into the culture of the organization. So how do we, what metrics can we use to measure the impact of purpose driven leadership on the success of the businesses?
Thank you very much. So I think when we begin to see compliance with some certain routines within the organization, some certain rituals that the organization practices, when we see the kind of feedback within and outside the organization, when we see the kind of results that we have, it will begin to be a measurement, both feedback, but also outcomes for us. When we see the things that we reinforce and reward, organizations begin to see people living their brand just because people speak with one voice, people see the same way, people understand the same aspect of where the organization is coming from. And so that means we are purpose enabled, we are purpose fit, and we are fit for purpose. And I think that's where you now be sure of sustainability, business sustainability, and possible business longevity. These are the things that you can use to measure. But when you lack purpose or work outside of purpose, it's a matter of time. Burnout will come in. It's a matter of time. Sustainability will be affected. And it's a matter of time. Longevity will be affected as well.
Excellent, excellent. So we've looked at how it affects our business. We've looked at the internal structure and including um, employees and staff. We have other stakeholders which we need to meet their expectation. So how can leaders ensure their organization's purpose aligns with stakeholders' expectation and societal need, coming from the angle that we are also adding value, and value is topmost on our mind.
Okay. Um, I think that one of the things that would help create an alignment is when people begin to set goals for the priorities that they have. Such goals will now begin to take into consideration why they are doing what they do, what are the expectations, and then they now begin to think about stakeholders management. Because a lot of times you cannot hit what you are not aiming at. So you cannot say you want to align or satisfy stakeholders if you are not actually aiming for that. So that's where you now need to set goals with such parameters in view. From there, you begin to work out the strategies that will make us have alignment as opposed to disconnect. You begin to look at things that will make you ensure beyond your strategy the actions that will be taken to follow suit. So I think that it will be nice that once you are able to set that goal, taking into consideration what matters most to the people, finding an intersection and alignment, people can now begin to create an implementation plan to make sure you follow up and follow through what you set as your goal.
Okay, so in meeting the societal needs, so how do we ensure alignment with that? Because that's not that's aside the bottom line now.
Well, sometimes the market, like people say, is like the voice of God, and they say the voice of the people is the voice of God. You cannot function outside the demands and the needs of your market. And if your market is to be seen from a wide perspective, your market is made up of the end user, is made up of your stakeholders, is made up of your workforce and team, is even made up of you as well. So you need to understand the behavior of such stakeholders, the demands of such market, and that forms the reality on ground for you. And that's how sometimes people begin to navigate through the terrain of customer satisfaction, stakeholders management, people development, and self fulfillment, or what you would call self actualization. The truth about it is that every enterprise and every business should not be one sided, should not be one dimension. You must be there for your people, but you must also be there for the market. You must also be there for your stakeholders, but you also must be there for yourself.
Very good, very good. Um, Taking it to the personal angle of leadership and reflection, what personal sacrifices or trade-off might leaders face when prioritizing purpose over conventional success metrics?
Thank you, Ma. I think that first things first is a lot of time you face resistance because most times surface-based people they only see the surface, they don't see your why, they don't see beneath the actions, and they are not patient enough to understand that a lot of times organizations have overt strategy, organizations also have covert strategy. And their covert strategy is actually laced with the purpose in mind. Why are you doing what you are doing, CEO? Because of purpose. But others are doing it this particular way. But it's because of purpose we are staying on course. It's because of purpose we are following values. It's because of purpose we are meeting up with compliance. Some people want ethical businesses. And because of that purpose, they will make sure that they are not at variance with the law. But they find out other counterparts cut corners. Some people have initiated corporate governance because of purpose, and it will cost them more. Other people will say, what's the force? Why go this route? Because of purpose. So most times the CEO might be misrepresented, misunderstood, because purpose sometimes can make you look fixated. However, in the end, purpose will speak. In the end, the outcome will show. And so that's my encouragement to CEOs or to leaders that purpose at the end of the day will always pay. It will always pay.
Okay. So, in some cases, some leaders have been accused of being fixated, just like you said. So, how can such leaders stay authentic and resilient while pursuing purpose in the face of opposition or failure?
Thank you, Ma. I think one thing that everybody needs to know is that your motivation should be derived from the direction in line with purpose. You cannot drive a car looking at the rear mirror. So, public opinion will be there, but not all public opinion is correct opinion. So, I think that people must begin to get to put on a thick skin to the whispers that actually are not in alignment with their vision, purpose, and goal. We need to begin to look at the quick wins, the small, low hanging fruits that we've been able to achieve, draw strength and encouragement from there. Look at other people who are doing the right thing and stay on course. That even if others change, you want to be the different person. And those type of things are self-motivated. And from motivation, that individual will begin to turn all his potentials into performance, potentials of becoming the best into performance of being the best, potentials of having the right standard into becoming the one who is a leading with.
Thank you. So, what qualities must leaders develop to effectively inspire others to align with a shared purpose?
Yes, qualities number one, it will be that every leader that wants to inspire and lead with purpose must be one who is able to communicate belief. So you need communication skills. You need some certain qualities. You need consistency. You need grit. You need staying power. I see that as a key trait where you are not easily perturbed and you are not easily derailed. And I think consistency would also help, you know. So people who want to inspire others must realize that they must first find a path for them to be called pathfinders. They must first blaze the trail for them to be called trailblazers. So that way they lead and others follow.
Very good. I will take a short break and we'll be right back to continue with this interview.
Being relevant in your field of occupation is proof that you are properly educated. When my parents and I were thinking about my university education, Bowen University Iwo was our first choice. Bowen University helps you to get the most of whatever course you're studying and also educates you on how to excel in a competitive labor market. From the day I arrived here, I knew when I would graduate, and my mind has been positively transformed since then, thanks to my able lecturers. My name is Salumi. I am a medical student, a sanctuary keeper, and a violinist at Bowen University. To the medical world, remember my name.
Bowen University, for excellence and godliness.
Welcome back. Now we've talked about purpose and we've defined what it means. I want to ask, can purpose evolve over time? And if so, how can leaders adapt to these changes without losing focus?
Thank you very much. Purpose, yes, can evolve over time. And honestly, I would say that I like to classify purpose into two: primary purpose, ultimate purpose. The ultimate purpose of a person and a business does not change, but the primary purpose is very dynamic. So at time T, your primary purpose can change. In 2025, our primary purpose might shift. But the ultimate purpose of your brand, of your business might not change. And that's where adaptiveness is going to be needed, where you need to understand that sometimes the market can shift, the appetite can be different, the demand of the hour might be different. And with such, we need to be dynamic enough and flexible enough, not to be an iceberg, but to be able to float in the direction of change, to be able to smell and anticipate change ahead of its time. So change doesn't surprise us. Rather, change inspires us. We are ready to drive up, rev up, and deliver that change. But ultimately, if your purpose is to serve your customer, it will always be the same to serve your customer. If your purpose is to add value, it's not going to change. You will still add value. But while adding value, you might be called to shift form. You might be called to change function. You might be called to reverse your gear. You might be called to, do what we call forward integration. So those primary purpose might change, and as such, we might need to begin to think of being adaptive. We might think of being creative. We might bring up innovative skill, but ultimate purpose rarely, hardly changes.
Thank you. Thank you very much. There's a contribution I saw briefly from Dr. Asen. I don't know if it's a contribution or question. It goes thus. Purpose should be driven by corporate vision, which the leaders must share persuasively with internal stakeholders. Okay, it's a contribution. Thank you very much for that contribution, Dr. Asen, streaming from Abuja. Thank you. So we continue. How can a purpose driven approach influence societal or environmental progress beyond organizational immediate goals?
Well, let's use Ethiopia and Ethiopia Airline as an example. It is said that one of the natural resource of Ethiopia is now considered as the aviation industry. So the country has been able to successfully supply a huge percentage of pilots to the world. So what it simply means is that they see um, um, promising citizens, and they encourage them to go to flying school for free. Then when they now get to start working, they start deducting. So automatically they are providing the workforce not for a sector but for the world. And so what do you see? Ethiopia Airlines and Ethiopia Airways, or Ethiopia itself, has been able to pride itself in being one of the factory or bakery of producing the world's pilots. That way, because of purpose, they've empowered not just one generation, multiple generation. They've created national product, and they've improved their GDP. They've been able to make sure that their national pride has been restored as a country to be reckoned with. They've put their country on the map of the world. That's what purpose does. So purpose is not just buying and selling. Purpose is not just buying and selling. It's more of you being able to get to the point where you are all not just sustaining and all sufficient, but you are able to deliver value at the point where everything, as it were, is able to touch more than one outcome. So that is what purpose does. For an entity, an individual, for a country, purpose cuts across and is multi-layered, multi-leveled in nature. So I feel that when we think of purpose, you begin to see that a lot of people will benefit higher, benefit more, benefit better than just when we are thinking of just profit or activity driven businesses.
Well taken. Well taken. So how does prioritizing purpose intersect with ethical leadership and corporate social responsibility, especially in 2025?
I think that I want to believe that this statement, the end justifies the means, should be a context to look at. If we think about it, it will now become like a critical success factor that we want to have sustainable enterprises. We want to have businesses that fit in our legacy. We want to have businesses that does not bring shame to our brand, our name, our family, or whatever. And so it means that we now begin to understand that it's purpose that will lead us to do the right thing, because they say nothing is wrong until something is wrong. And so purpose will cause us to adopt right practices and policies because it is right. Just because of purpose, it is right. not because we feel we are happy with it, not because there's no escape route to it, but we are doing the right thing because it is right.
Thank you. Being an educationist, what role do you think educational institutions, especially in Nigeria, play in preparing future leaders to prioritize purpose?
So it's that's really where the journey begins. The quality of the education system, the quality of the education model, and the quality of education professionals, will always determine the quality of a nation. They say that a nation cannot rise beyond the quality and the reality of its education system. And so, if we want to be people who are purposeful, purpose starts from cradle. It starts from the creche. It goes to the primary school, gravitates to the college and secondary school, and then terminates sometimes at the university level. So we must be able to ensure that we get it right there, where people are doing things for functionality, where people are doing things for productivity, where people are seeing that education must meet industry. Education is not just for them to read, write, and pass exams. Education must be able to create people who will serve the industry, who will rule the industry, and by turn, who will dominate their market space and the world.
Well, the aspect of that question that you did not answer, maybe diplomatically you oversighted it, is, are we in the right model in this country for us to nurture future leaders that prioritizes purpose from the education angle?
Well, we are not totally there. I think that some people are striving to make a mark, but it's a national emergency where we need to cut the chase and ask ourselves the mismanagement of the education sector and the missing components within the model of education needs to be addressed immediately because it's a ripple effect. So when they say we are a consuming nation, it's because of the model of education we found. And we need to inspire ourselves to succeed. In China, there's something I discovered recently. There's no word called problem. So they don't have the word problem. So you can imagine the word problem in their dictionary has been replaced with opportunity. So every child doesn't grow with a reference point that there's a problem. Whereas for some people, problem is their reality. So
Chew and leave it. Thank you very much. I wish that we can go on and on. I really want to appreciate you for these great insights that you have shared with us today. It's been very enlightening, and I hope our audience also feel the same. Thank you for allowing us to share your Sunday evening for this program for the benefit of our people. And while we are on, we have quite a number of our regular followers that joined, the ones I was able to quickly grab their name. We have Akala Akitude from Ogun State, Taiwo Ojo from Abuja. We have Rhoda Odigo. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And that's one of Rotimi's follower. Then we have my sister Wendy Garuba Yeni also joining us. We have Bayo Banjo joining us, Dr. Asein from Abuja, who also contributed. Bayo also contributed. We have Adetunji Aderito also streaming from Lagos. Thank you all for keeping us keeping up with the show. I hope you benefited uh, one or two areas today. So thank you, Rotimi. We just go quickly through our wrap up session. A lot of the work has been done by our guest. So we need to understand our purpose. We need to understand our purpose. That is first thing that he explained to us. Getting to know what is more important for us and prioritizing that. Then our leadership paradigm must also evolve so that we would be purpose from profit focused to purpose driven leadership models. Then we must have a or see purpose as a catalyst for innovation and resilience. We are also having Eunice Adebola joining us. Thank you very much. Then we have purpose for our employees engagement. This is very important because as he shared with us, if we don't have fit for purpose and in terms of the caliber of people you are engaging, you will not be able to achieve what you set out to achieve. So integrating profit with purpose is another mix we have to get right. Then our purpose-driven leadership, we look at what social impact we are able to generate. We should be able to have impact in our immediate environment. And then we must have some practical steps that we will follow for for us as leaders to prioritize our purpose. So in 2025, we should anticipate global trends and the impact on our purpose so that we'll be able to prioritize our purpose. We already have with us the AI, ethics, geopolitical shift, generational changes. All these are important things that we need to factor into what we plan to do in year 2025. So let us look deeply how purpose will shape our future, the future of our work, and redefine the success. We should also embrace purpose as competitive advantage in 2025. So I want us to, as we draw cutting on today's discussion, I want to remind us of the profound truth that leadership is not about titles, positions, or accolades. It is about purpose. In 2025 and beyond, meaningful leadership will be defined by our ability to align our goals with values that transcend personal gain. Prioritizing purpose compels us to lead with integrity, empathy, and a vision for a better world. It inspires us to also create environments where innovation thrives, collaboration flourishes, and success is measured not just by profit, but by the positive impact we leave on people and communities. As leaders, let us remain unwavering in our commitment to purpose. Let us be guiding lights and inspire others to change and chase dreams grounded in meaning and to make decisions that echo far beyond our time. In doing this, we will not only achieve success but also ensure that our leadership legacy endures for generations. I want to thank you for your attention and dedication to this topic for the purposeful leadership. Together, we can make 2025 a year where meaningful leadership transforms challenges into opportunities and aspirations into realities. So once again, we I appreciate our guests and I say kudos to all that are joining us today. Let us start the year with the positive mind that will make a difference in our world. If you have enjoyed today's show, please remember to join to connect with us and set the notification button so that you'll be informed of our offers both on Instagram and the YouTube. Until I come your way again, let us have a purpose-driven leadership in focus. God bless you and thanks for joining.